Hi, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. It is Monday, and I'm not sure what the date is. Let's see, 10th, 15th. I think it's the 16th or the 17th. Well, whatever. You get it. It's Monday. Just want to do a quick little look here at the S&P 500. This is our S&P 500 ETF. We call it SPY for obvious reasons. It is the symbol, SPY. So this is the Standard & Poor's Depository Receipt. So that's where the name SPDR comes from. They're the company that runs these ETFs, or partially run the ETFs. They're also backed by State Street. And this is an ETF which is designed to track the S&P 500, and it's 1/10 of the value. So this is what people trade. So this is what I look at. This is where I like to start off my analysis every morning. I think we're going to, not surprisingly, like I've been saying, we got up to 408. We got a little overbought. Now we're selling off a little bit. This red line here on the top and this red line here on the bottom are called Bollinger Bands. These are two standard deviations above and below the S&P 500. I'm not the S&P 500. I'm sorry, the 20-day moving average of this SPDR here. Now, why is this important? Well, statistics tells us that 95% of trading should occur within two standard deviations of the mean. If something exceeds that threshold, it attracts in buyers or sellers because they're going to be expecting a reversion to the mean. A lot of trading systems are based on this concept of reversion to the mean. You'll see here that we got above it, and that was the beginning of a downtrend. Last week we got above it, coming in a little bit. On the downside here we got below it, and that was time to buy. So the good traders focus on what levels are important, what's the trend, and what's the momentum, and what's the psychology. Now, why is this 408 level important? I don't know. Some levels are more important than others. It's just how it works in the markets. Back here, it was the support level, and then when it went lower, a lot of investors who bought here thought that they made a mistake and they shouldn't have bought, and they regret doing so, and they tell themselves, if this gets up to my level and I can sell and get out at break even, I'm going to. So guess what happens? We get back up to 408, and remorseful buyers placing sell orders. There was enough of them that the level that was support turned into resistance. Over here we have the opposite. Resistance can turn into support. A lot of the people who sold here regret doing so once we got up a little bit higher. And they tell themselves, I want to buy my shares back, but I'm only going to do so if I can get them for the same price that I sold them at. So we have remorseful sellers placing buy orders, and if there's enough of these buy orders being placed at a level that had been resistance, the level that was resistance can turn into support. So why is 408 the important level? Because of investor psychology. All right. Things get overbought, that shows that investors are too euphoric. Things get oversold, that shows that investors are too afraid. You have to look at charts through the context of what does it tell us about supply and demand, and what does it tell us about investor psychology. Some price levels are more important than others because that's where a lot of volume trades, and that makes the levels important. Why is it 408 and not 411 or 406? I mean, I don't know. It's 408. We don't need to know. So knowing where these levels are, it's like knowing where it's like having a map, okay? Because when we get to an important level, we tend to make quick moves. We tend not to stay there for too long. Even something like this is almost a little bit of an anomaly. But you can see we did make some pretty sharp moves off of it. Now, if we keep going lower, and my suspicion is that we will, there's a good chance we're going to find some support at 400. That's where I'd be looking for a bounce. Notice how it was a resistance level. Remember, resistance can become support. So this level was resistance. There's a good chance that if we get there, some of the people who sold here are going to be trying to buy their shares back, and that'll create support, and that could lead to a little bit of a move higher. So with SPY, you want to focus on 408 and 400, and right now it's trading around 406. Now let's just take a little bit of a longer term picture. And this really kind of shows this concept of these levels. So 408 was important back here. It was important here. We just looked at the year-to-date chart. Now we're looking at a 9-month chart. So we could see resistance turned into support. We got up here again and it was resistance. Down here we can see support here, became resistance here, it became support here. it became resistance. Here, the good traders in the institutional world, this is what we focus on: levels, trends, momentum, and psychology. We don't waste our time with silly things like Fibonacci retracements and Gann theory and Elliott wave. All right, so that's it, everybody. Hope you have a good day. Just focus on these levels: 408 on the upside, 400 on the downside. My suspicion is we'll probably trade within this range, at least over the next few days, maybe a week or so. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good day.